Hello, my name is Anthony Wall. I'm one of the people who was in the court right next to the World Trade Center towers, right next to the World Trade Center attack, who they've attached to fake conversations about that with investigators and their family members and people associating with them that way, who've been doing that where they put fake things in databases, fake motivations for it, as timed collusions, as the same problem with the other countries, A through Z, but as time collusions with how we are shared at campuses with a whole bunch of countries. Countries on the there's a Scott Ritter. I didn't even hear what he's talking about, but obviously he's been talking about the wars. Pakistan, with and he's telling everyone to be afraid. I just shared that on YouTube. In other words, the reason we should be afraid is because we've been using systems A through Z as our names, A through Z, as systems, tactical terror, from the one as the Constitution unabridged, from the one as nature, how it employed our names and our differences, black pupils. We have black pupils, whites of eyes, and the other breaching method assigned to other. There is more probable and practice. First of all, to understand American history, you have to understand how our founders, with James as the face of James Madison and the founders behind him, they went and got George Washington to agree to help them. Before there was a Declaration of Independence, his plan, they got George Washington to agree to use James Madison's plan. And slavery had already been entrenched before they were born. And everyone was a slave in different roles. Everyone was sickly, distinctly hurt because the breaching method uses how sickly non-distinctly is left out. So there are readings of statutes and state difference to effectively used by the breaching method to measure and maintain. Left out its use of location /s. Its use of you guys communicating other for the history of James Madison by using truths for lies, by leaving out how no one had free speech because there was a breaching method and recorded entrenched. And the laws meant everyone had to hurt each other, sickly distinctly, and while pretending other, blaming out other things, other stuff, leaving out the breaching method. Otherwise, that body was sensed. See, we still have group think because there are still group employments. Like there are wire crime acts and methods with the people at the phones at WFSB and at Fox Connecticut News. I didn't even call WTNH or whatever, W Connecticut. I believe it's the news next to it's channel 8, whatever. Next to, they changed the channels, but next to in New Haven, next to FBI, and next to every campus, including fire and medical campuses. See, Russians and Americans have roles with fire departments in ways that must have something to do with nuclear, because they have roles also at medical campuses like Hartford Hospital, where they've been fabricating conversations with adults, attaching them to fake uses of drugs with their people. They have undercover police forums. I don't know all their names, and some of them know mine from Weathersfield, as people who grew up criminally foreign influence. Everyone speaking to others employed as co-defendants. There are co-defendants from a 2006 district court case, and right before that, as some of the people involved increasingly at other locations, but with evidences crimes next to Fox Connecticut News, which is right next to the state capitol, has something to do with how they make vertical and horizontal confessions to each other. So a Cololo family and an O'Brien family have roles with families next to the state capitol in Hartford and with those clubs and those buildings there, with foreign and domestic military, criminally foreign influence, foreign and domestic courts, family members, planting evidences with the judges and prosecutors. They have victims advocates, including of Sandy Hook, whereas Sandy Hook campuses have more roles with a proven principal child abuser. They have more roles with the victims advocates as real collusion at crime scenes and with evidences with asking questions. See, people want to ask questions, leaving out the value of what came first, leaving out the value of the confessions they're making when they're asking questions. They asked in other words, if they ask what the president thinks about a jury, if the jury's going to get it right, you guys haven't been listening to him. See, that's why we have to have there are federal rules of evidences, crime methods, whole predicate acts with facts methods that are reliant upon readings of statutes, criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions wrought, black pupils. New York City sickly distinctly has the real causes of negative value nature, had the real cause and has the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures. Blame on other things, others ourselves. I should say slash has. Because those grouped, it is grouped for that reason, for how nature has us grouped. And not. In other words, we are a species, individual body of individual bodies, plural, with group difference slash s being what we discern as the group difference is. And so we have it now, like this breaching method made the suburbs tactically denatured. It had the plan to have us build in self-value roles, blame ourselves for why and how the cities are manifest the way they are, tactically denatured, involved with the torture method, the extortion method, the slavery method, on and off the Ninth Circuit Court rolls post-dating legal papers, right in the World Trade Center attack context. The Ninth Circuit Court in Manhattan is right next to where the World Trade Center towers were. And so that was rolls with the attack. And that was in Manhattan with people from Connecticut named Scalora involved with military, foreign and domestic. And people with overt criminal enterprises at the same time, not legitimately, as unmarked police forms and roles with acting professors, also involved with predicate acts with facts at corners of streets, with names also tied by their role